Welcome to Sky High Coaching Conversations. I'm Janelle Ryan, global personal coach and author of Become Extraordinary, joining you from the coastline of Australia. This podcast is raw and unedited, just like life. I work with high-performing professionals, entrepreneurs, and elite athletes who are ready to expand their minds into new ways of thinking, create what once felt impossible, and lead themselves and others with confidence. If you're a self-led human who loves growth, truth, intuition, and a lot of laughs, you're in the right place. I'm so happy you're here. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back. So happy you are here. Today I have a personal story. I invite you to listen along. Notice if anything comes up for you. If it does, write it down, and then you can decide later if there is anything you want to do with that insight, that idea, that piece of information. So a couple of months ago, I was on my way to an event in Melbourne, a rather large event, and I was sitting in an Uber with my hubby in the front seat and a friend was in the back seat with myself. And everything was going well. But as we got closer to the event, the traffic started to slow. Now, this was no surprise. As I said, it was a very large event taking place in Melbourne, and we were not the only people going to this event. There were thousands, and many of them, funnily enough, were in cars, as were we. Now, as we moved closer to the venue, traffic got slower and slower and slower, and eventually we were stopped. So we're sitting stopped in traffic for a few minutes, and I noticed the discomfort start to arise in my body. I started to feel a little frustrated, a little irritated, a little annoyed. And then I realized that had actually morphed into anxiety. I was feeling quite anxious. But no one else in the car seemed to be anxious. Everyone else was very relaxed, even the Uber driver. I thought, okay, I'll look out the window. What will I do? I'll look out the window and I'll grow very present, and I'll notice whatever I can notice out the window. I became very interested in Melbourne architecture. Didn't work. The feelings did not decrease. So I thought, okay, what will I do now? Honestly, I probably didn't do it for long enough. So I thought, okay, what will I do now? I know what I'll do. I'll chat to my friend, and that'll pass the time. So I tried to speak with her, but then it turned out that she was busy on her phone solving a work problem that had to be solved in that moment. She did not want to be distracted. So I thought, okay, best leave her alone. So then I thought, I'll ask hubby if the traffic's moving, because he can see ahead, right? He's in the front seat. So I did that. No, he said, I can't see anything moving. And because he knows me, well, they both know me. My friend's a very close friend that I've had for many, many decades, not even years. He said something, she ignores me and my anxiety. He said something like, we'll get there when we get there. Like, it's okay. Stop worrying. So I thought, okay, no one else in this car appears to be feeling this discomfort but me. So I better check in with myself, see what's going on. So the first thing I asked myself was, are we running late? No, we weren't running late. In fact, this event was running for hours and you could arrive at any time. It didn't even have a set start time or a cut-off time that they wouldn't let us in. We had hours and hours and hours and hours. No matter what time we arrived, we were going to be granted entry. That's no problem. But between the three of us, we had a time we wanted to arrive. So I thought, okay, are we not going to make the time that we wanted to arrive? No, we've got plenty of time. And you know why? Because we factored in the traffic. Because we're not silly. Okay, so what am I actually feeling anxious about? And I remembered, and I can't say it was an insight. I have to say it was a remembrance, because I've known this about myself for a while. I struggle when there is a pause on the way to my destination. Does this resonate with you? And I have to be really mindful of it because not only does it show up in traffic, let's face it, we can all get frustrated or irritated or annoyed when we're stuck in traffic. I'm not the Lone Ranger there. But I have to be mindful of it because it shows up in a lot of other areas of my life. When I was dating, I just wanted to meet the person. I didn't want to really go through the process. I didn't want it to be taking so long, and oh my gosh, it took a long time for me to meet my husband. If I go on a health and fitness plan, I throw myself right in 100%. I will stick to that plan almost every single day so that I reach my goal faster. When I was in my career, I had coaching, I went to training courses, I read books, I did programs, I had mentors that would fast track my career. And then, of course, there's the business sky high. If you're a business owner, this probably will resonate with you. We want our businesses to experience exponential growth and quickly, don't we? So what I know about myself is I feel really uncomfortable with a pause on the way to my destination. If I have a goal, a vision, a dream, a desire, I want to get there as fast as possible. And if this is resonating with you, we are probably similar. You're not alone. And I talk to a lot of my clients about this, that people who are high performers like momentum, they like action, they like movement. They do not like feeling, even if it's not reality, they do not like feeling stuck, slowed down, lost, like I don't know what to do next. For some reason, my strategy is not working and I just feel like everything has come to a halt. Maybe you had movement and then it stopped, like me in the Uber. Or maybe you had a strategy that didn't gain the traction as quickly as you wanted it to. You're in very good company. I speak with people about this pretty much every day. So there's a little, but we want to remain really mindful of it because there is something that we tend to do as humans that may not assist us. And what that is we will take a step or jump into something that isn't actually the best move for us, purely to get back into action, to get back into movement. And for these uncomfortable feelings like irritation, annoyance, impatience, we want to release them because they feel so uncomfortable in our body. Is this making sense? Does this resonate? I'm in this really uncomfortable feeling. I don't like it. So I'm just going to jump into this, or I'm going to do this over here, which is more about pushing something or forcing something, just so we put ourselves back in movement and momentum, and we no longer feel like we're not doing anything. We no longer feel, to use that word again, stuck. So this is why I have to be really mindful of this piece of myself that wants to get me moving no matter how. My mum used to say, Janelle, you're like a bull at a gate. You get an idea in your head and you just bulldoze, you're full on, and you don't stop to look around or stop to think. Now, I'm not saying that has not ever worked for me. There's been times that it has. I don't know whether it was by luck or whether I was moving with intuition and I just knew the steps to take because it was so right in the moment. But I can tell you this as well, there's been times that impatience has not worked out for me. And I have made the move I don't like saying things are right or wrong, but it was the wrong move. And so then it slowed me down even more. So sometimes we want to embrace that pause, and I like to call it a strategic pause. So I like to frame it as there is power in a strategic pause. Some people also say slow down to speed up, and you may have heard that before. You may have heard it from me before. Slow down to speed up, because sometimes we're being asked to slow down by life, by circumstance, by the universe, by God, by guides, by your subconscious mind, by spirit, whatever language you like. We're being asked to slow down because the next best step wants to reveal itself. It just needs us to stop moving so it can do so. It needs us to pause for a moment so that the next great idea, that inspired thought can drop in, or the person can appear on our path, that person that can help us, or that great opportunity that we couldn't see when we were running so fast can fly in, right? Has that ever happened before? You felt stuck, you took a pause, and then, I don't know, the next day, the next week, the next hour, you just knew what the next step was, and life was showing you the way. So that's what I've learned, that there is great power. There's great power in the pursuit as well, and we will have another conversation about that one day. That's a different episode. But I've also learned in slowing down to speed up that there is great power in the pause. Now, I have another piece for you. For those of you who are thinking, oh, that just feels so uncomfortable. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. I've got you, because I know that feeling too. And sometimes I want to put myself in a little bit of action. I want to feel like I'm contributing to the solution, right? Rather than just worrying or feeling anxious, that I'm stuck or I'm stopped or I'm behind or everyone's ahead of me, that feeling, everyone's ahead of me, I'm behind. I don't want to stay in those feelings because A, they don't feel great, and B, they're not helping. Worry and anxiety isn't going to help. It's going to hinder. So sometimes I want to put myself in some kind of action lightly, light action, not pushing, not striving, not forcing, just some really light action that might help free up some movement and might help the next best move flow to me a little bit faster. So if you're interested in those kind of activities, I journal, I meditate. So they're not quick activities, right? I'm not forcing anything. I'm opening myself up to receiving the opportunity or the thought, or the inspiration or the idea. So as I said, journaling, meditation, walking in nature, walking my dog, going out and just doing something fun, just for the pleasure, for the joy of it. Watching a movie, immersing myself in a movie, playing with my dog, watching a comedy that makes me laugh and feel really light and free. Reading, I love reading. There's so many activities that now my head's bringing more in. Pilates, like I go to Pilates almost every single day, and I'm never caught up in any kind of stress or anxiety when I'm at Pilates. I am completely focused on what I'm doing. And if you do Pilates or something similar, yoga or an activity that you have to concentrate on, because the moment you don't, you're going left and everyone else is going right. Like that's the thing about Pilates. I have to stay so present or I miss an instruction. That's when, and often in Pilates when we're doing the stretching at the end, that's when I get inspired thought. Absolutely. In the shower, I get a lot of my best ideas. So the point I'm making is, it's when I'm off looking after myself, doing something for myself, or doing something fun, or doing something that turns inwards like meditation or journaling. Journaling's a beautiful one. Sometimes I will just keep writing until, I don't even, if anyone else read it, it would be gobbledygook. It would not make any sense. But if I just stay in it and keep writing whatever is coming up for me, it gives my subconscious the chance to bring forth the idea. And I know when it appears, and I've written it down, and I know I'm done. So I hope you've enjoyed today's conversation. We talked about the feelings when we feel stuck and how high performers, we prefer movement, momentum, action. We don't like feeling like we're being slowed down or we're being stopped or feeling stuck. And that's a very natural, uncomfortable feeling, right? Because as human beings, we're actually made to move. That's how we've evolved as a species, as a civilization. We've actually evolved very rapidly in a short amount of time if you put it in perspective of the whole universe and how old the whole universe is, even though time's a construct. But anyway, that's another conversation. It's because we enjoy movement. So note down anything that came up for you today and then think about what you might want to do with the information. If you know someone who would find this conversation of value, please share this episode with them. And if you would like some help, I have 2 free blueprints available at the moment. The first one is called Unshakable Confidence. So if you would like to cultivate unshakable confidence in any area of your life, and that's going to help keep you in momentum, that blueprint's for you. If you would like, if you're ready for your next, gosh, I'm jumping around, aren't I? Slow down, Janelle. This is what happens when I get excited, right? Exactly what I'm talking about. Take a pause. The second blueprint is called Success Was the Warm-Up, and that's for you if you have experienced, created, achieved great success in your vocation, your career, or your business, or your projects, and you are now ready for something new, but you're not sure what it is. This blueprint will help you unlock that. Or maybe you're sure what it is, you're just not sure how to transition from where you are now to where you want to be. The blueprint's going to help you with that too. So that's 2 free blueprints. We will pop the link in the show notes. Is there anything else I wanted to tell you? I think that's it. Thank you for being here today. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. And remember, keep expanding, creating, and leading. And I'll catch you again on the airwaves. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for being here for another Sky High coaching conversation. If today expanded something in you, trust it and allow it to lead you to your next step. Take what landed, leave what didn't, and keep creating the life and vocation that feels unmistakably yours. Until next time, keep expanding, keep creating, and keep leading with clarity, courage, and a little magic.